I just get so excited to hear others lighting up with within themselves. And what occurs to me is that that's why I love doing what I do, or finally being who I am with a lot of endings behind me, gratefully, is that, I don't like the word transformation. I feel like it's erroneous. Like, we don't transform into something else. It's recognition, rediscovery, discovering, uncovering. It's returning to who we've never left it, but it's recognizing that we've never left who we really are and celebrating that. So taking off those layers, is fantastic. And coming back to something about how do we do this, or when do I know what to say, or why don't I give myself permission? Why do I hold myself back? And I've not yet found good terminology for this dynamic. It's determined by whether we are orienting within or without. So, and that orienting is difficult for people to grasp. So I'm still looking for terminology that people can get it like that. So if I'm with my family, and I don't want to say something, the question would be are you thinking and being from yourself, or are you thinking and being from them? And we have the capacity to do both, and that's beautiful. That gives us the opportunity to understand and care and act when we're present to what's all around us. But it's first to be present here as the source and the genesis. And when I do that and I trust it, like I trust that knowing of timing. If I'm present to being myself without any of the disturbances, any of the filters, and I feel like there's something that wants to emerge and be shared in the group, and I trust without double guessing with my intellect that if it's emerging in this way, then it is the right place and space to share that, even if the response out there is going to not be copacetic. And then in that sharing, to do so from the love that I am. So I can share things that may be disruptive or uncomfortable or even contrary, and be okay with that. And I might unleash, in my sharing, a tornado might be unleashed. And to still feel that trust of that sharing is what I was brought to be and do in that moment, and feeling at peace with that. And that's not easy, whether it's in an intimate circle like a family, or it's in front of a group of people if you're facilitating as a leader. It's something you can hone and dance with. I may be feeling it as a tornado and sharing my tornado from a place of love or being love, yet I'm sharing one facet. As soon as I've shared that, if I'm trusting that emergence, if the tornado evolves, I'm not responsible for that tornado. Or maybe somebody, not everybody experiences it as a tornado. So experiencing something, say, oh, that's our tornado, wow, am I going to unleash that? We've already determined whether it's good or bad to do so or to feel it. And if we trust that emergence of, wow, there's something here to share, it feels bigger than me, I don't know what that means, really not attaching ourselves to the observer of what is emerging and trusting that emergence, whatever happens after that, we can be at peace at, because we're not responsible for it, so to speak. We're not responsible for the reverberations of what we're being in the world, if we're coming from that place of trusting our beingness and being love while we're doing that. When there's an accident and you react and you take care of it and you're on point, and then after all the trauma's gone and everything calms down, you start to shake. It's like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. What I'm hearing is similar, is that you really resided in that place of complete trust and knowing, and then it's a neutral place with joy, if you will. And now life's rushing back in again. The patterns of daily interaction and of daily thoughts, and the way that I envision it or sense it, is like a scaffolding. We've been taught from those little kids, as I spoke of in the Yaquana, that the whole tribe would walk as fast as the slowest person. Like, their scaffolding of this construct of their life is so peaceful that they know exactly where they are at all times. Our scaffolding is, am I here? Am I there? Do I have to move? What's going on? What are they going to say? Like, we have this completely different construct. And in trusting our beingness, the translation of that, or the reconstructing of the scaffolding that we adopted or was put onto us or we were trained into, it's a practice. And when you translate and lived your trust and lived your knowing of beauty, whatever the outcome. Now, how do I do that if I'm in a board meeting? How do I do that if my spouse disagrees with me? How do I do that if my child's not, doing what I've asked them to do? And it's just coming back to that place and then trusting that however I'm going to deal with it is going to make sense. It's a deconstruction before we can reconstruct, right? Because we've been trained to judge first. And to really simplify it, we're asking ourselves always two things, which is where judgment comes from. Is this good for me, or is this bad for me? And that's it. If I say this, is it good or bad for me? If I do this, is it good or bad for me? If they say or do. And so that's our filter. And if we just don't mean to minimize, when we give ourselves permission, when we know even before there was permission that that's our beingness, permission means we've left it first, right? Now we have to give ourselves permission to come back again. When we reside in that knowingness of ourselves as love, as spirit, and there's nowhere to get to, leave, or come back to, then that is the jet fuel, if you will, for our actions, for our interactions. And that's what we're relearning here, and the how to do that. I've struggled most of my life with my, I'm going to say, fierce love. And as a small child, I was so often bullied and made fun of because I was too fluffy, or I cared and I didn't know how to. My children call it my Winnie Pooh-ness. This is a place where this kind of realness, where this beauty that we are, it's not unique to me. How could that be, right? We are all of this. That this is where it gets to resonate like that drum across the galaxies.